This obsession argument is stupid. Everything about this movie screams non-consensual. And Bear is without a doubt the villain. And it becomes undeniable by the end of the movie. He has made it known that he doesn't have any issue with what he is doing to her, robbing her of her autonomy, her aspirations, her entire life. The only issue that he has with her is that she's acting weird. The real Nikki asks for help, right? He says, "What's so wrong with being with me?" And she's like, "I've never been with you, Bear." And y'all, he walks away, refusing to help her. There is nothing to talk about. I'm almost actually tempted to think that the demon inside of her is more like a mimic, and it's mimicking the way his ass is on the inside. Bottom line, he's a villain. He's not a normal guy. And for the guys on the internet saying that he is a normal guy, scary. You just tied a lot of women's tubes. Moving on. So Lindsey Graham passed away. I don't care about that bitch. Something that actually hurt me though. Dr. Grant passed away, and it literally threw me into a dark abyss of everything and everyone from my childhood is passing away, and I slowly slipped into a deep dark nostalgia induced depression, and the only thing that brought me out of it was hatred, naturally. Which brings me to my next topic. Dr. Ugly. I am calling him Dr. Ugly because 1, he makes my eyes water when I look at him, and 2, he has called himself a doctor, and it is hilarious to me that he can't even heal his own illness. No, not the alleged malignant narcissism that runs through his veins, or the alleged Alzheimer's that he is rumored to have. The ugliness. The fell down the ugly tree and got hit by every branch. That ugliness. Now on to his administration. This is probably the most ghetto, ratchet administration I have ever seen in my life. And to be quite honest, as I always am, that flim-flam of an American fair they threw, that was a mixture of Mr. Krabs' Krabby Land and Pearl's birthday. Symbolic of what I think of this administration.
That is one big pile of shit.
And the supporters are mentally ill. Moving on. So I saw that Michelle Obama was getting attacked again for her looks. And I noticed that the maggots have the most to say about people's looks, while simultaneously looking like boiled chicken. And their leader?
You look just like your father. Ugly,
Next topic. So Tamar is beefing with Kandi.
Oh, there's a big surprise. That's an incredible. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise.
And I am absolutely stunned in the sense that I'm not. If you're unfamiliar with the lore, I have 3 videos already covering Tamar and her antics. Congratulations on missing the prequel trilogy. To sum up who Tamar is, every story has a villain, victim, and a plot twist. Somehow Tamar is always all through. If victimhood were an Olympic sport, she'd have a Lifetime Achievement Award. Somewhere, a victim complex looked at her and said, finally, someone with ambition. This girl doesn't have a victim complex. She has a victim cinematic universe. She is the physical manifestation of the phrase, if everyone is the problem, maybe it's you. A cautionary tale with excellent commitment to the role. And this is coming from someone who named their channel I Hate Everyone. And yeah, I have to admit, I hate how everyone acts, but am I starting beefs with everyone and then auditioning for the role of the eternal victim? No! Because 1, I'm too lazy for beef, and I would never play the victim because being a villain is so much more fun. And being the villain is so natural for me, so less effort. But really, in my real life, my life's goal is to live like a ghost. I want to relax, have my introvert downtime, and dodge drama like Wednesday Addams dodges emotional vulnerability. I want to just relax and live life and let other people live their life. And people that are not like that, I just don't understand. stand them and they get on my freaking nerves. Which brings me back to Tamar. So the situation is this. Tamar tried to publicly congratulate Kandi, prompting Kandi to call her out for behind the scenes shade. Kandi gave visible side eye because she felt like it was fake. See, I have a particular dislike for manipulative personality. You know, the kind of people who quietly rearrange the chessboard behind the scenes. Then they step into the spotlight expecting applause for their performance. Because here is the inconvenient little detail. When you do things in the dark, eventually someone is going to notice the missing pieces. And naturally, the person who reacts to being wrong becomes the villain of the story. Suddenly they're cold, bitter, mean, unstable, jealous, and for my religious folks, unforgiving. That's the little trick manipulative people master. They don't just create the situation, they understand the role everyone will be assigned afterward. They know who gets sympathy, who gets questioned, and who gets painted as the problem. It's not just the behavior, it's the calculation behind it that makes it unsettling to me. The premeditation, the little mental blueprint created before the damage is even done. And honestly, some people are not meant to be forgiven from 6 inches away. Sometimes distance is wisdom. It has nothing to do with holding grudges. It's basic contamination control. Because some personalities are less like a bad day and more like black mold. You can keep insisting the house has character, but eventually you'll have to admit that the walls make you sick. That's Tamar. Moving on. So the Nolan Wells situation. Actually, I think I'm going to let that one sit on the shelf and collect dust until there is a little more reciprocity happening in the community. Because I have noticed a fascinating phenomenon. The warrior costume seems to come out when black women are needed to defend, protect, organize, march, explain, and endure. The cape is always conveniently available. But then, when those same women turn around and say, actually, I would like some softness, care, and respect too. Then, and only then, suddenly, everyone forgets where they left their instruction manual. Well, whenever y'all need some help, I'm gonna lose my instruction manual too. Shoot. The sword is simply exhausted and would like to stop attending every meeting. Okay. Speaking of black women, Cynthia Erivo and Variety. So Cynthia Erivo did this interview with Variety. I actually did a video previously about Cynthia Erivo and her mistreatment, and I was obligated to do it because the situation was disgusting. She says, I think we haven't really come to terms with the insidious nature of how we view black women. And I'm sure people will read this and think, oh, for goodness sake, it's not about that. But it is. It sure is. Because that's what was made fun of. It was my physique. It was my shape. It was the fact that I was bald. It was about what I looked like. Didn't I tell y'all? And because of that, there was this assumption that I was bigger than my co-star. And so I had to be controlling or protecting. And that was my role. I would hazard a guess that it would not have been the same had it been the other way around. Absolutely not. My opinion, this is Cynthia Erivo basically saying that she was cast as Elphaba in real life. Basically, I do have to admit, with Cynthia Erivo, Halle Bailey, and recently Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy, the betterment of black women's image has really brought out the monstrosity in people. It's like the internet purge for white people. It's like for 24 hours, everything racist, colorist, and downright disgusting is not only allowed, but welcome. Except it's not 24 hours, it's everlasting. This for me is the danger of being perceived as ideal. It's such a fragile glass pedestal to be put on that if anyone comes along to challenge it, that pedestal cracks and it becomes a huge mess. It's almost like the evil queen saying, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most beautiful of them all? And the mirror is like, well, and the evil queen is like, well, what? I said all this to say, white women are still the beauty standards, so I wish they would just chill out. It's like, just because black women are not being portrayed as unattractive doesn't uproot a century worth of conditioning. And neither does a biracial woman that marries a prince. Okay? Oops, I forgot. Gypsy and Ryan's racist phone call. So there's these phone calls circling around the internet where Ryan and Gypsy are discussing black kids in Ryan's classroom and fellow staff as well. So you hear Ryan complaining about a ghetto black girl, as he calls her, and a kid that's parents are always late, to which Gypsy adds with a laugh that the child's parents must be at a trap house. Gypsy, where are your parents? Where are your parents, Gypsy? Your father only cares about you when there are cameras involved. But what about your mom? And I know this is such a played out riff, but it is necessary when someone is making assumptions about someone else's parenting. It's the fact that she has the audacity, the unmitigated gall to be saying all of this sitting up in jail. And the person that she is engaging with in this conversation, really? And the person that she is engaging with in this conversation is talking to someone that's sitting up in jail. It seems to me that Ryan likes the ghetto. It's like you want to put a stereotype on us about a trap house, but you want our tears because you were trapped in the house. Get out of here. So Ryan and Gypsy laugh at the idea of parents being in a trap house, and Ryan's just saying how he gets so frustrated about the parents being late despite him being a special education teacher. He says that he holds it back but wants to say, where are your effing people? It's like, what the F? Dude, you are a special education teacher. I feel like I'm Woody talking to Buzz Lightyear here.
You are a toy!
You're a special education teacher. You should be the personification of patience. Like, what you mean? But do you see what I'm talking about when I talk about the racist people and the bull chicken? It's like, how do you find the time to be racist when you toe the hell up? You should be very busy. So that is the end of it. Was I harsh? Absolutely. Was it necessary? Also, absolutely. Do I make the rules? No. Do I enforce them? Apparently. And look, I didn't really want to do this. I was perfectly happy in my tomb, eating Whoppers and watching Netflix. I had absolutely no intention of leaving. So don't look at me. This is not my fault. It's the internet. The internet made me do it.